Hello YouTube again. This video I'm going to talk about stretching piercings. Um, Basically I've been stretching piercings since I was 15, 16. I started with my right lobe and I stretched it from like 1.6 probably to, well no, from 18 gauge, which is like fucking 1 mil, to like 2 mil, and then from 2 mil to like 6, and then from 6 to 8. And I was using tapers, and I knew nothing about fucking stretching, so I was just doing what everyone else was doing. Then I started getting other piercings, and I started stretching them. I stretched my septum, I've stretched my tongue, stretched my PA, stretched my industrial, I've stretched my traguses. I've got quite a lot of experience with stretching over the years. And over the years, I've come to some conclusions. One, do not use fucking silicone to stretch with. Silicone is fine to have in healed piercings. It's not the best material, but it's okay, right? This is a silicone tunnel. It's squidgy. It's fine. The piercing's healed. It's fine. It can sit in there. But do not stretch with silicone because it's not got a smooth surface. It's not hard. It's not solid. It's kind of like bitty and like a little bit porous. Not porous, but it's not smooth. So basically, when you're stretching, when there's loads of like pressure against it, your ear adheres to it and gets stuck. So when you try and take it out, it rips it, and then ripped skin equals swelling and not a happy piercing. So if you're stretching, always use hard materials. I'd recommend metal, stainless steel or titanium, or glass. Glass is really good as well. But worst comes to worst, just use surgical stainless steel. It's the cheapest, and it does the job. Don't skip sizes. Don't think, oh yeah, I can go up 2 mil or whatever. If you haven't stretched it before, you need to take your time. You can go up in 2 mil increments if you leave it for like a couple of months between stretches. I'm talking about low stretching here. If you leave it 2 months or 3 months or even up to like a year or whatever between stretches, and you've got weighty jewelry in your piercing, then it will self stretch. It'll be fine. You won't even actually stretch it. It would already stretch, and you're just putting in jewelry that fits it. My go-to when it comes to stretching piercings, and I've done this with pretty much all my piercings, is to tape. There's two different kinds of tape that you can use. You can use electrical tape, which is what I use, or you can use bondage tape. Bondage tape sticks to itself, but it moves around because it's not actually using an adhesive, and it's not as thick. It's quite thin. Where I find electrical tape, it's got an adhesive. It's quite thick. It's easy to work with because you can use your scissors with it and cut it to like the exact size to wrap your tunnel or plug or whatever. I just find it easy to work with. It's really simple to use and really like pliable and easy to get to the right size and make sure that you're doing everything right. Um, my method is you wrap the plug or tunnel in one layer of tape and wait 3 to 5 days between each layer. Then you add another layer of tape, wait 3 to 5 days, and add another layer of tape until you get to the next size. You can then measure it, or you can just wait until you get to that size by trying to push it inside it. And if they meet up, then it's obviously the same size. So then you can just put the next size in. But it's a much slower process than using a taper. Using a taper, you're pushing that through, and it's like going up in 1 mil in like a couple of hours or an hour or minutes or whatever, which is much more drastic than going like 0.2 of a mil in like 3 days or whatever. So it's much easier. I try and keep it the piercing moisturized by using cocoa butter between stretches, and to use it as a lubricant, because if you don't use a lubricant, you're just pushing something against like your skin, and it's just gonna like twist and tear and just all kind of nasty stuff. You want to keep it nice and lubricated when you're taping, and yeah, just wait, be patient. I think the secret to stretching is be patient. Like this lobe here, I had a blowout out on it at like 20 mil, and I got it cauterized off by Samphon Cyborg in London at Cold Steel. And then I stretched again and it snapped. And then I've had it stitched up and it's got a weak point. I should have waited a good 6 months before stretching it again, but I didn't. I was impatient, and now I've got a thin spot. So at some point, hopefully, I'm going to get that thin spot cut out and reattached, and then slowly, after a good 6 months to a year, try and get it back up to this size, which is 32 mil. Um, yeah, my piece of advice is take your flipping time. You can always go down a size, but like going up a size is like, it's a big step. Like flipping, if something goes wrong, don't hesitate to downsize. It's much easier to stretch back up once something's already been stretched than to do a fresh stretch. So don't worry about flipping downsizing for a couple of weeks or whatever to give your piercing a break. There you go. There's my advice on stretching. I hope it helped. And if you've got any questions, just leave them in the comments. Thank you.